Good evening to you, televiewers of Divine Mercy Radio Television, and welcome to your favorite program over the Divine Mercy Radio Television every Saturday at this hour. That is a debate over the Divine Mercy Radio Television, a very cherished program, a teaching and learning exercise program, a program of sharing and of course of whetting our appetite much deeper into inquisition with regard to contemporary happenings, with regard to church happenings, with regard to very, very critical topics of consideration. And it can only come to you over the Divine Mercy Radio Television. We know it has been, of course, a heavy week, and cognizant of the fact that it is weekend, we equally want to journey with you to relax your minds as you rationalize, as you reflect about some very, very critical and contemporary happenings in our society. Today being Saturday, the 14th of June 2024, we shall be presenting to you another very, very interesting topic and debate session in this program. And so, JTV friend, we urge you to remain glued to your television screens and equally get your pens and papers and of course your mind sticking as you reflect with regard to your input on this topic of our debate tonight. The topic for our debate, before I bring it to you, what you have noticed is the fact that yes, so many people have been trying to inquire deep into the word of knowledge, and they try as much as possible to weigh the merit and the demerit of certain phenomena and certain fora in which knowledge is acquired or disseminated. It is on this count that so many people who are inquisitive on knowing much about happenings in the world have actually reflected much about the common, fora used for acquisition of whatever could be considered knowledge or information, AI, known as artificial intelligence. So many people have reflected upon it, and some are for the fact that it has caused more harm than good. Some are for the fact that it has caused more good than harm. Some are for the fact that it is neutral. Some are for the fact that it is useful. Some are for the fact that it is absolutely useless. Where are you? Have you ever thought or reflected about AI in our contemporary society? That is artificial intelligence. It is on this background that we shall be reflecting on the debate topic, and we shall be matching arguments for and against with regard to the debate topic tonight, which is artificial intelligence, that is AI, is a threat to humanity. Artificial intelligence, which is AI, is a threat to humanity. Of course, there will be those for and those against the motion for tonight's debate. I urge the youth to remain alleged and of course very, very glued to their television screens. I urge the parents, mothers and fathers, everybody to follow up critically and to give in their remarks and contributions when need be without any hesitation. Much ado about nothing, I would like to introduce to you those at the panel tonight for this debate. Those against the motion, I begin with those against the motion. By my right, that is Jude Aka. Good evening to you, Jude.
Good evening, Father.
And welcome. How are you doing this evening?
Very fine, Father.
Very good. I hope the smile is not artificial intelligence smile. It's natural smile.
It's natural, Father.
Natural.
It's
Interesting.
enhanced.
Thank you so much. And by Jude, and with Jude, who will be arguing against the motion, is Becklin Sangnoy. Good evening to you, Mr. Becklin.
Good evening, Father.
And how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great.
It's a pleasure having you here.
Thank you very much.
And straight away, those for the motion that artificial intelligence is a threat to humanity. We have Bernard Asongne, always present. Good evening to you, Bernard.
Good evening, Father.
And how are you doing tonight?
It's a beautiful night.
It's a beautiful night. Equally, I can see from the smile.
We would like to keep it natural.
We would like to keep it natural. Thank you. As opposed to artificial. And straight away, he will be, of course, on the same side with Napoleon Kenfo. Good evening to you, sir.
Good evening, Padre.
And how are you doing tonight?
I'm good, thank you.
Oh, thank you. So, from the smile.
It's my pleasure.
It's a pleasure to
and
be
we keep it natural.
We keep it natural.
Not
That's
AI.
the fundamental thing. We keep it natural, not artificial. Yeah. So straight away, JTV friend, we shall be taking you into the crux of the matter to see if artificial intelligence is a threat to humanity or not. Much ado about nothing, we begin with the first speaker for the motion, Bernard Asongne, that artificial intelligence is a threat to humanity.
Thank you very much, Father Moderator, for giving me the opportunity to say a word or two on such a sensitive topic as such. and greetings to my dear brothers who are on set for this debate today, and warm greetings to our televiewers who are following us for this our program for tonight, which is always very enriching in our own study, very own study of the love of wisdom, which is philosophy, which embodies so much and consists of wondering, imagining, thinking, and making substantial premises. We have all sat and learned in one way or the other to listen to those who have lived before us, to listen to those who have lived life better than us. And in this course of listening and learning from our fathers and our teachers, they told us about the early thinkers. That is, they told us about the poetologians. They told us about ancient philosophers and thoughts and wonders about the causes of the world, the cause of this world, how the world came to be, and how it manufactured all that we have in it today. And so, in the course of this wandering, in the course of this thinking by philosophers, it has gone down the lane from ancient philosophers to medieval thinkers who have raised questions about God, and subsequently, in the latter days, they have equally raised questions about the meaning of human existence. And so from age to age, from generation to generation, man is continuously in search of meaning, with the first of all being meaning of his humanity, the meaning of his humanity. Till date, as we speak, man is still in search to add value to this humanity, but with the care of not causing any harm on his fundamental human rights, which are given to him, endowed to him from the day of conception right up to the day when he breathes his last. It is for this reason and on this count that I shall be arguing for the motion that artificial intelligence is a threat to humanity. At very first sight, you will bear witness with me that this debate topic poses to us two things. The very first thing that we must give utmost importance and consideration to are, the very first one is artificial intelligence, and the second one is humanity. From the word artificial intelligence, what comes to mind, my dear friends? Just as we listen to these words, the sounds loud enough as it comes to our ears, artificial intelligence, it is a concept far from nature. It is a concept that is not even close to nature. It is man-made. It belongs to the guise of liquid modernism that has forgotten its roots and is now chasing shadows. It has no sense of emotion, neither does it have any sense of feeling. What is humanity? Humanity, on the other hand, comes from the etymology humanitas, which means human nature, or the condition of being human. Clear enough and different from artificial intelligence is the fact that humanity is a gift. It's a gift given to man, which has connections with the earth and the giver of this humanity, who is God himself. Humanity is a gift, and artificial intelligence is a creation of man. My argument shall be based on showing how artificial intelligence nowadays is a threat to humankind or humanity. The very first point I would like to highlight for this debate is that artificial intelligence has taken over and takes away man's integrity and man's dignity. My dear friends, man, who is the best of God's creation, as you will bear with me, carries within him an integrity and dignity given him from birth, which stands as a fundamental property of his humanity that must be guarded jealously and carefully till the day he breathes his last on earth. And so, looking at artificial intelligence, it is not just harmful, it is not just harming the dignity of man, but is successfully crushing man to his barest lamentable minimum, where he has nothing to offer to the world. Presently, artificial intelligence has convinced everyone that she is the best tool to make life easy, to make life luxurious, to make life livable, to make life comfortable. But I would disagree with it. But in this luxury that artificial intelligence seems or is struggling to offer to the world, in this luxury it offers to humanity, it turns to solve man's immediate problems, but damages his dignity and integrity that makes up his humanity. In the pursuit of giving man the consolation that he seeks, in the pursuit of giving man the relaxation that he wants, in the pursuit of giving man the comfort, he has only limited himself, and at the tail end, damaging man's dignity and his integrity. Ferdinand John Bosco, in his book Challenge Your Challenges, says that as human beings, the first thing that confronts us is challenge. But beneath this challenge is the disguised privilege that waits for us in the nearest future. All of this is to tell us that man will always be faced with lots of challenges in life. But in the face of all these challenges, do we run to artificial intelligence? The answer is a big no. What must we do then? We must bear the pains and the challenges that comes our way. We must bear the pains and challenge ourselves and take up responsibility and engage into critical thinking. That is what we must do. And we must not seek comfort in artificial intelligence. Let us consider the following as we go ahead with this debate. Why is it that I ask you the question to my very panelists on this debate? Why is it that before you enjoy an egg, you must confront the eggshell? Why? Have they thought of it? Have they thought of it before? Before you eat an egg, you must confront the eggshell. Or why is it that before you get to an island that is somewhere in the ocean, you must be ready to confront the risks involved in sailing to that island? Have they thought of this? Have you thought of this? I just want you to give a little moment of critical thinking to this. We fall at the same time in this same position when at the verge of doing things in our lives, we rush to artificial intelligence without taking the pains of challenging ourselves to go beyond our barest lamentable minimum. We often at times forget these little things and we embrace artificial intelligence to assist us with all our heart without checking the compromise that it brings. But I will boldly say without fear that just as the devil gives you one orange and takes back 10 in return, artificial intelligence does the same. And even worse, it gives quick information and help to us, but carries along with it man's dignity and man's integrity. It leaves man at that very stage where he has nothing to offer to the world. And so, just as how sacred scripture that I love so very dearly reminds us in 1 Peter chapter 5 verse 8 that be sober, be vigilant, because your enemy the devil is prowling round like a roaring lion, looking for someone to devour. From sacred scripture, I dare to put an extension. In a manner of extension, I will say we must be vigilant. We must be careful, because artificial intelligence, just like the devil, is prowling round like a roaring lion, looking for someone to devour his dignity and integrity. And beware, if the lion, who now represents artificial intelligence, should prey on your integrity and dignity, I'm sorry for you. But if he misses you, it's a moment to say thank you. Let me round up with this last point for my debate. Artificial intelligence derails man from his purpose in life. We quite and fully know that there is a statement that a purposeful man is a prosperous man, and a purposeless man is a complete loser. At the center of a life which has purpose is a life that hangs on truth. Can those who sit in this debate house this moment tell me from all conviction that artificial intelligence is a sponsor of truth, is a holder of truth, is a bearer of truth? Can they say with conviction that artificial intelligence has truth in all its entities and components? Can they say with certainty? They cannot. And so we must get into all of this. What is truth? At the center of life which has purpose is a life that hangs on truth. Truth that in itself is one. A truth that in itself is immutable. A truth that in itself is indivisible and is coherent. Stands no chance or could be found anywhere around artificial intelligence. All of these properties that we have just named about, they are the properties of truth. They stand nowhere around artificial intelligence. And so we must not be lazing around artificial intelligence and give artificial intelligence the opportunity to take man's rationality away from him, to take man's ability to reason out, to give out what is within him, because it's only that which is within man that can be put out, and that which is created by man can never be greater than the man who created it. And so I hold my point at this level by saying that artificial intelligence remains a very big threat to humanity.
Bernard Asomne, that was the first speaker for the motion with regard to tonight's debate that artificial intelligence is a threat to humanity. Straight away, let us take you to the first speaker against the motion that artificial intelligence is a threat to humanity, and that is Jude Aka. The floor is all yours, Jude.
Good evening, the moderator. Good evening, dear lovers of DMR TV. Good evening to my colleagues here in the studio. This evening, we are touching on a very timely, critical, and very essential topic: artificial intelligence vis-a-vis humanity. To begin, I would like to define some terms. The first key term, as we see on our screens this evening, is artificial intelligence, AI. The word artificial stands as opposed to natural intelligence. And artificial means that artificial intelligence is a semblance, it's a likening of, it's a mimicking of natural intelligence. The second key term is humanity, and the big question tonight is, what is humanity? Humanity can be defined in different contexts. Biologically, it will simply refer to Homo sapien, the species of humans. Morally, it will refer to the qualities that make us human, some of which are compassion, love, and emotions. To dive into my debate this evening, I would like to start from scriptures. I would like to start from the Bible, the very first book of the Bible, Genesis chapter 2, verse 15. And it says, when the Lord God created man, he put him in the Garden of Eden to cultivate it. To cultivate it. That is where the stress is. The Catechism of the Catholic Church, paragraph 302, picks this up very strongly when it states, and I quote, creation has its own goodness and proper perfection, but it did not spring forth complete from the hands of the Creator. The universe was created in the state of journeying in statute viae. Creation was not complete from the hands of the Creator. That's the first line. The second line, man was placed in the Garden of Eden on earth to cultivate it. Let us make the gradual progression. When God created man, man had no technology. The world was very natural. In quotes, natural here will mean as the Creator made it. Man had the task to cultivate it, to make it more beautiful, more habitable, more comfortable for him. That is why he was in the state of journeying. Man took up the task given to him in Genesis chapter 2 verse 15 very seriously. And the first thing he invented was fire. With fire, man could cook his food, he could keep himself warm and keep himself safe because he used it to scare away animals. We are talking of the primitive ages. From fire, man proceeded to bringing about wheels to facilitate his movement. From here, there was a skip right up to the mid 18th centuries when the Industrial Revolution came about. What was the Industrial Revolution about? It was a shift from man-made labor to machine doing the labor. When the Industrial Revolution came, it was met with a lot of contest. People resisted the change. After the Industrial Revolution, the progression went forward. We had the digital age around the late 19th centuries. This was not so much resisted to. That was the invention of computers, the ENIAC used for calculations. After that, we had the 20th centuries where we started having artificial intelligence. Why have I taken time to make this progression very clear? When my opponent were talking, they used the word artificial as a synonym for bad. It is not. Artificial intelligence is the state at which human beings have moved in the journey of cultivating the earth, of making it habitable. That is where we find ourselves. What is artificial intelligence? Artificial intelligence is a mimicking of natural intelligence, and the very first purpose of invention, of creation, as the famous dictum states, necessity is the mother of invention. There was a need for man to have fire. After fire, there was a need for wheels to movement. After that, there was a need for machines to do some of the heavy work that human beings had to do, and after that the digital age still has to facilitate it right up to AI today. Let me go practical. I have laid the foundation enough, I believe. My opponents talked of artificial intelligence as a threat to human dignity and integrity. This is very, very false. As I already mentioned, the aim of invention is to facilitate life, is to make the earth more habitable. And artificial intelligence is a strong upholder of human dignity and integrity. I explain. I don't just state, I state and explain. How does artificial intelligence uphold human dignity and integrity? Let us move into the factories. There are some jobs that human beings did before the inventions of machine and now AI robotics, which were degrading to the dignity of man. For example, very risky jobs like the exploration of the earth, journeys to the moon, the disposal of harmful weapons and substances. Human beings used to make that risk, putting the human life at risk that is already degrading to the value of human life. But with the coming of AI, particularly in the robotic field, human beings do not have to carry out those tasks. Their dignity is kept intact, and machines, robots, do those things. Still, in the industrial world, there are some jobs that are boring, that are draining, extremely draining to the human being. For example, calculation of huge figures. Imagine if I was asked to calculate maybe 51 times 3 minus 2 plus 5 times a billion minus all of that huge calculation, which will take man so much time, draining energy, and can even lead to anxiety, depression. Those tasks are being carried out by machines with a single punch. That is upholding to human dignity. There are certain jobs still which humans should not do. Concrete example, you watch night. There are some firms which need people to watch over 24/7. Human beings should not. Even in the medical world, very important example, there are some diseases that do not permit medical personnel as human to approach persons suffering from such diseases. For example, when we had the corona outbreak, any person who comes in contact with somebody who has that disease will be infected. But with the invention of robots, a mimicking of human intelligence, a robot that can act like human, it facilitates that process. Because, for example, food and medication could simply be given to a robot and instructed to give to this patient in this room. Those are ways in which artificial intelligence come in to uphold the dignity of man. Now, we talked of purpose. You talked of before purpose, you talked of the value of work. Artificial intelligence making man lazy. In all honesty, the use of the word lazy there is springing from a purely African mentality. I'm sorry to say that, it's not insultive. Sad enough, many people, especially Africans, think that to work hard, to labor, is only to look dirty and sweaty physically. That is not it. The fact that AI presents the information, perform your tasks within time, within the shortest period of time, does not mean that you ought to be lazy. And again, AI, artificial intelligence, as the name itself states in all humility, is not human intelligence and is incapable of performing those tasks that are purely human, but it aids the human person to perform those tasks. For example, coming for this debate tonight, if we were in the 1980s or 1990s, I will have to enter a big library, begin to bring down books to look for maybe a quote, a line or two. But in the age of artificial intelligence, all of that stress is saved. You don't need to bring down books. In fact, bringing down books does not make you intelligent. It does not improve your dignity in any way. The important thing is to have the knowledge in your head at the end of the day. Artificial intelligence comes to you with and helps you present the information to you. What do you want to know? I want to know about the use of cameras. It's a punch, and you have a whole documentary on that. Furthermore, in the educational world, to be specific, artificial intelligence enhances every human process. Everything you are doing, no matter which domain you find yourself, it be a teacher, doctor, lawyer, priest, anything, artificial intelligence can help you do it better. As a student in the years before artificial intelligence, in the 90s, you had to study only in class. You had to beg a textbook. You studied in 2 dimensions. You could only see or probably hear the teacher. After that, you could not hear him. But with artificial intelligence now and the internet, you don't even need a teacher that much. You don't need a teacher that much. If I am walking by the road, I hear a concept which I don't understand, I don't need to write it down to go and ask somebody, go to a library. I punch it. What is the meaning of this term? It brings it to me. How on earth does that replace my ability to reason? How on earth does that take away what is purely human? To conclude with the first part of this debate, I would like to say again, artificial intelligence is a tool that fosters and enhances humanity. A denial of artificial intelligence is a lot of self-deprivation. It is leading to the dark ages. Let me end with this beautiful explanation. You see, when I was explaining the evolution of technology right up to artificial intelligence, I talked about the industrial age. You know, in the industrial period, there were some people that had so much physical force, they could till a big farm. So when the machines came, they were threatened. They did not want to adapt to that. They left it behind. Those who could not till the farm as those people did, but who could use their brains, they accepted the change. They learned the manipulation of machines. Before long, those people took over the factories, and the people who resisted that change became their laborers. That is what we call today unskilled labor. That is it. This is the artificial intelligence age. If you refuse to adapt to this change, if you want to remain in the age of the industrial revolution, you want to remain in the age of the early man, where they were carrying bags of cement on, you carry the material on your back, you remain in that age, you become a slave to those who embrace the system and the change that comes with AI. Thank you.
Thank you, Jude Aka, first speaker against the motion for tonight's debate that artificial intelligence is a threat to humanity. Jude Aka spoke against that motion, of course tracing the route of development from the industrial revolution right over to artificial intelligence nowadays, and he actually hinged his arguments on the fact that artificial intelligence is merely a semblance, a mimicking of natural intelligence, which according to him is not a threat to humanity at all. With all the assertions purported above, he noted that it is a necessity, and necessity is a mother of inventions. Straight away, without much ado, I know our highly esteemed viewers are already very ready to say something, to give in their contributions. Please do not hesitate. Through the number projected at the television screen, write in your input, write in your remarks. What about your own contribution? We shall be so delighted to have it. We shall take you to the second speaker for the motion for tonight's debate Napoleon came for, that artificial intelligence is a threat to humanity. Over to you, Napoleon.
Thank you, Father. Thank you, my fellow panelists. Thank you, the lovers of DMR TVS. And once more, I stand with my brother Bernard, who makes it clear that artificial intelligence is a threat to humanity, and it remains a threat to humanity. I have to give my fellow panelists some facts about it. You mentioned in the other hand that it gives us room to do the works that was supposed to be done by human is not done by robot. True, very true. Now, in summary, AI possesses risks including job loss, deepfakes, bias, privacy violation, weapon automations, and social manipulations. Some experts and leaders are calling for stronger regulations and ethical overseas as AI grows more powerfully and integrated in our daily life. My brother, I still bear with you that it is a threat to our life. As AI grows more sophisticated and widespread, the voices warning against the potential dangers of artificial intelligence grows louder. I take you to the grandfather of AI, who is known as Geoffrey Hinton. These things could get more intelligent than us and could decide to take over us. Do you get that? Now, and we need to worry more about how we prevent that happening. That is Geoffrey Hinton saying, known as the godfather of AI. Listen to him, a godfather of AI. For this fundamental work on machines learning and neural network algorithms, in 2023, Hinton left his position at Google so that he could talk about the dangers of AI. My brother, nothing a part of him even regrets his life's work. And we are talking about AI. I take you to lack of AI transparency and explainability. AI and deep learning models can be difficult to understand, even for who works directly with the technology. This leads to a lack of transparency for how and why AI comes to a conclusion, creating a lack of explanation for what data AI algorithms used, or why they may make biased or unsafe decisions. These concerns have given rise to the use of explainable AI, but there is still a long way before transparency or transparent AI systems become common practice. My brother, I still stand to tell you that AI is a threat to humanity because many today are losing their jobs, doctors are going home, people who were supposed to be working as God gave us work to be. In the book of Genesis, God told us that you have to till a soil to be able to feed yourself and your family. AI coming back to replace man's work and then giving back to humanity, and somebody who was supposed to be stealing or tilling the soil for his family well-being is not going home because of AI. I take you to another point. Losses due to AI automation. AI-powered job automation is a pressing concern as the technology is adopted in industries. You mentioned it very clear that industries today, they look at AI as the best workers even more than human beings. If I'm not making a mistake, I'm quoting you. Like, I take you also by 2030, bear with me that tax that account for up to 30% of hours currently being worked in the US economy could be automated with blacks and Hispanic employers left especially vulnerable to change. I'm making you to understand that AI comes back to threaten us, to threaten our work, to threaten our daily activity, and to make us, some of us, to lose. Even take for instance that if AI was to be the one sitting here and talking, you will not be here. You will not have this time. Father will not have this job, and all that is a threat to humanity. Thank you. Lack of data privacy using AI tools. Now, when we talk of lack of data privacy, A 2024 Abbey Point survey found that the top concerns among companies is data privacy and security. And businesses may have good reasons to be hesitant considering the large amount of data concentrated in AI tools and the lack of regulation regarding this information. I take you to another point. I can give you 15 facts on the danger of AI coming to be a threat to humanity. Due to time, I cannot take you chronologically. I will just give you few of those points. Autonomous weapons power by AI. That is another one. As too often the case, technological advancement have been harassed for warfare. When it comes to AI, some are keen to do something about it before it's too late. In a 2016 open letter, over 30,000 individuals, including AI and robotics researchers, pushed back against the invention or the investment in AI-fueled automation weapons. Brother, I still stand my fact with Brother Bernard that AI is a threat to humanity. Thank you and over.
Thank you. That was the second speaker, Napoleon Kenfo, for the motion that artificial intelligence is a threat to humanity, and he gave lots of points there to actually support his assertion and standing for the motion with regard to tonight's debate alongside Bernard Asongne that artificial intelligence remains a threat to society. Let us take you to the second speaker against the motion, who will be arguing against the motion that artificial intelligence is a threat to humanity. Becklin Samuel, the floor is all yours.
Thank you, televiewers of DMR TV and all those who are listening to me currently.
Yes.
Well, listening to my opponent, on the other hand, he made mention of several factors, including job loss, regarding the disadvantages of the use of AI in our contemporary society of today. Now, let me call your attention to the fact that the use of AI in our society today does not limit the human beings in exploring his or her ability. I say this because if you say AI leads to job loss, it therefore means you as an individual, you are not willing to work. Being pushful is one essential tool of man, and the coming of AI was a man's device to assist him in performing certain functions which are limited to his abilities. So you cannot say AI leads to job loss. Secondly, he talks of privacy. Now let me call your attention on this. AI is an electric device which whatever it's on the AI are mostly installed by us humans, and to access that information, we as humans, we often need to give permission to whosoever is about to access that information, and without that, whosoever is trying to access cannot gain direct entry into that. So you cannot say our privacy in with the use of AI is not safeguarded. Next, I'll go by the fact that let me say the loss of jobs. Well, with all this, I'll tell you that AI, first of all, we humanity are a great problem to ourselves. The coming of AI, robotics, and machineries will not come to fight space or compete with the use of resources that God has provided for us. AI just come to assist. Now we are the ones killing ourselves. We are in this room. AI will not come and say he wants to take this space. No. We are the ones who decide what we want to use or what we want to do at any given point in time. So I stand by the fact that AI is for our own benefit rather than to negate us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Becklin Samuel, arguing against the motion that artificial intelligence is a threat to humanity, hinging his argument on the fact that all content used in artificial intelligence, in the robotics field, in the jotted content online, just to name a few, are all installations by humans, and so all are assessed with the permission of humans, and it depends on those who actually have access to all these, and they should be used for the good of humanity. Thus, he argues against the motion that artificial intelligence is a threat to humanity. Dear TV friend, that is it for the first round of all the speakers. We've listened to all the speakers, those for and those against the motion that artificial intelligence is a threat to humanity. And with concrete examples given here, I know the temperature is actually increasing. People are reflecting. People are eager to type and giving their contributions. Sorry, somebody has been trying to call us directly here. We don't call directly. Please send in your contributions. They're already coming in. Their texts are already coming in. Be rest assured that they will be communicated to the whole world so that people equally get their own point of view with regard to tonight's debate, that artificial intelligence is a threat to humanity. Thus, while others are jotting down their words and their assertions, we shall take, of course, the last round of the debaters summarizing their arguments while we are receiving, after which we shall unfold the content of our highly esteemed viewers and listeners who are eager. I see many people writing and jotting and sending their input, who are eager to contribute for tonight's debate. Straight away, I take you to the culminating argument for those for the motion that artificial intelligence is a threat to humanity. Bernard Asongwe.
Thank you very much, dear Father, the moderator, for giving me yet another opportunity to place a solid bedrock on my points with regards to this debate topic of today that is causing a lot of headache this evening. When you read St. Paul's letter to the Romans in chapter 8, the verses 38 to 39, it states very clearly there that nothing can separate us from the love of God made manifest in Christ. As an extension, I will say that nothing can separate us from the love of Christ that AI has come to take away. AI has come to take away this love of Christ that is made manifest to all of us. You know what I'm talking about? When Christ came on earth, I want us to go back. When the world was created, Adam and Eve, and the world went on with creation and the rest. When man fell and was under the bondage of sin and death, God saw that man needed redemption. I want to ask my opponents, when God saw that man needed redemption, did he send on earth a robot to redeem man? Where were robotics to come and redeem man? He sent his son, his only son, who is a man. And that is why I can summarize the whole of artificial intelligence in one Latin adage that man's inhumanity to man makes countless thousands to man. That is to say, AI's inhumanity to man will continue to make man to continue to mourn. And if we do not realize what AI is doing to us, we will mourn today, mourn tomorrow, and our generations will keep on mourning. I want to ask my opponents who have said so flamboyantly, without any fear of contradiction here during this debate of today, did they think for once when they were saying that artificial intelligence is a mimic of natural intelligence? Did they think of that statement at all? Do they even know what they are talking about? When you say something is a mimic of another thing, that means that thing is not what it is. A thing is what it is and nothing else. And so, a servant will never be greater than the master. I want us to go back to the whole point. Go back to Industrial Revolution. During the period of Industrial Revolution, when it came, the whole idea was to enhance the living condition of man. But what did it do at the tail end? It ended up suppressing man. Suppressing the dignity of work. Suppressing the dignity of man. And that is why our own Pope of blessed memory, Pope Leo the 13th wrote the document Rerum Novarum, addressing a situation as this. And today, in our own time, we have a new pontiff. We have another Leo the 14th in the age of artificial intelligence. And that is why he decided to choose the name Leo the 14th from Leo the 13th to put an end to this whole aspect, or to give a reasonable way out for us humans addressing artificial intelligence. Let me end there. But before I go, I just want my opponent to get this. Imagine that my brother Jude is a married man. Jude has a wife in the house. And Jude's wife has just put to bed a bouncing baby boy. And Jude has gone to work. On coming back, Jude meets a robotic giving breast milk to his bouncing baby boy. How would you take that? Artificial intelligence. Does it give more meaning to humanity, or does it break the point of humanity meeting together? We can go on and talk about artificial intelligence, but it stands nowhere. There is a breach between artificial intelligence and human enhancing. When you talk about man, it's man-to-man relationship, not man-robotic relationship. That was not a relationship God created at the beginning. He created Adam and Eve. He did not create Adam and robotic Eve. No, there was no robotic Eve. There was another human person for that compatibility. For that, you go to the artificial intelligence today, what are they doing? There is a whole notion of manipulation, spread of misinformation. Go to the internet, you will see. They put images there even of you, Jute. You will see. They can even put images of you, Jute. You are a seminarian today, but they put you there, you are getting married to a woman in Canada. Are you there? Can you really? That is artificial intelligence we are talking about. You see the mishap and the degradation it is bringing to our humanity. If you think I am a liar, I will tell you artificial intelligence, who is a follower of the devil, who is the father of lies, is a grandson of lies. And if you don't take it, then I will drop my papers and say you have won for this debate. But you must accept that artificial intelligence indeed is a grandson of all lies. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bernard Asongne wrapping up the argument with regard to tonight's debate that artificial intelligence is a threat to humanity. Thank you, Bernard Asongne and Napoleon Kenfo have been putting those arguments together, which have been brought forward to our hearing, while our highly esteemed audience are equally typing to giving their input. Do not relent, send in your contributions, and they will be highly regarded and welcome. Thank you so much. And let us get to the culminating arguments as well with regard to those against the motion for tonight's debate. Jude Aka.
Thank you very much. It was Elon Musk who once said, some people don't like change, but you need to embrace change, especially when the alternative is disaster. It is commonly said that the abuse does not take away the use. My opponent went on and on, mentioning how artificial intelligence has been abused, and they seem to want to make it take away the use. It cannot be like that. Dear brothers, even the Bible becomes a weapon of man's destruction when found in the wrong hands. Even the Bible becomes a weapon of man's destruction when found in the wrong hands. It was the very famous author James Allen who said in his book, As a Man Thinketh It, that in the armory of his thought, a man fashions the equipment with which he builds up his life, all the weapons with which he tears down his life. He tears down his life, sorry. Dear friends, artificial intelligence is one of the greatest goods that has happened to mankind. Quote me anywhere. Artificial intelligence, as I earlier said, is an invention of man with wisdom given to him by the Creator, who created the world in the state of becoming not complete, gave man all the raw material, all the equipment man needed to bring about artificial intelligence, to make his stay on earth more comfortable, more bearable. Artificial intelligence is so beneficial in every field in life. Without artificial intelligence, we become primitive, we degrade. Before I move into my last argument, I would like to counter some of the arguments my opponents raised. The first one was artificial intelligence as a tool that abuses human privacy and confidentiality. This is a very big lie. Right from the birth of technology, there have never been a system as secured and as private as what we have today, aided by artificial intelligence. I think that artificial intelligence is still a very cumbersome term to my opponent, the way they use it. Permit me break it down again. Artificial intelligence, AI, is simply a broad database with more information available to it. Let me explain. Before, when you go on Google and you Google is a search engine. When you type something, for example, what is history, they will probably take you to a document that somebody uploaded and has the title what is history and present to you. But with AI, it is task performing. It is about teaching you. It is about breaking it down to you and not just presenting to you what has been stored in the system. That is why with AI, you can ask more personal questions. Like, for example, you can ask your AI, is there traffic at OIC? And your AI will tell you if there's traffic or not. If you think I'm lying, try it now. Google with your phone. That is because we have satellites. Our technology has advanced. If Noah had a drone in the period of the drought, he would not need to risk the life of a dove. When there were already few on earth sending it out to go and check, he would simply fly the drone to check if the water has gone down. If the Israel had drones, they would not need to send three Israelites, Caleb among, to go and risk their life to die in a foreign land. They would have used the drones. AI is not. My opponent equally mentioned the fact that AI, when I use mimicking, I meant that it's not real. By mimicking, I meant that artificial intelligence is aimed at mimicking human intelligence. It is man trying to create a system that can solve his problems more accurately. Brother Bernard, imagine having a robot in your house that immediately you get into your house, the robot knows that you are thirsty, brings you water. Won't you be happy? Imagine having a robot that when you have debates on Saturday, you tell this is my debate topic, yes, and the robot puts you down and teaches you. Will that not be making life easier for man? Artificial intelligence has AI in all its form, be it in the robotic fair, which is just one fair. AI is found in almost every fair of human existence. It has been incorporated, even in cars. Nowadays, we have self-driving cars that limits the risk of accident. I can go to Moliko and maybe out of human weakness and concupiscence, as my colleague here said, that man is a problem. I drink to stupor. I enter my car. If it's a manual car, for somebody, in fact, if it's a car that is not having AI, cannot self-drive itself, I will surely die around QIB. But if I had a self-driving car, immediately I enter the car, it detects that this man is drunk. It drives me home. That is artificial intelligence serving man. artificial intelligence is a servant to man, is not a master. It is a machine. Machines can never take over humanity. I don't know why people are frightened. I don't know why people feel threatened with the presence of AI. People should feel happy if that AI is in their milieu to help them carry out those complex tasks. People should not be threatened. AI has been incorporated in every system to facilitate every process. Gone are the days where parents used to hire tutors, private tutors for their children. Now you have artificial intelligence. You have AI. AI is not only a video that has been posted that will explain the concept, but you ask personal questions. I don't understand this aspect of this topic, and it attends to you. And AI always ends by saying, is it clear? AI is a system that wants to serve man in all its form. That is why AI is capable of picking up cultural values, norms, identity of the people. It is a self-learning machine. For example, the common AI you have on your phone, your WhatsApp Meta AI, if you keep on asking your AI theological topics, your AI already gets adapted to the fact that this person is interested in theological views and provides answers that suit that context. We always define your terms within that context. AI is not a messiah, as my opponent mistakenly thought. I don't know how you think like this. I don't know how you could think of AI coming to die. It is an invention of man. When you mention the fact that AI, that God will have sent AI to die for us, I just felt like my grandmother when I bought her a phone. She said it was a bomb. After charging the phone, she said, "Do I need to put credit?" I said, "Yes, you need to put credit." She said, "So I will charge and put credit. It's stressful." My dear friends, we have to learn how these machines operate and to end conclusively. As I earlier mentioned, even the Bible becomes a weapon of man's destruction when found in the wrong hands. AI has no will. AI is a machine that is placed at the service of man. If it is found in the wrong hands, if it is asked to perform the wrong task, it will unfortunately perform the wrong task because it is being asked by man in obedience to man's will. How will I end without mentioning the fact that AI is a custodian of morality? What is intrinsically human? AI has the ability to safeguard our moral system. Let me pursue you tonight. Do you know that thanks to the incorporation of artificial intelligence on social media platforms like Instagram, Telegram, TikTok, people are not permitted to post contents that are not humanly edifying? Did you know that? Did you know that you cannot post, for example, contents that are extremely violent or that portray nudity on those platforms? That is because artificial intelligence has been incorporated to it. Once you put your information, it is filtered by the machine, and if it's not relevant to man's consumption, it is put aside. Without AI, people will use as dumb. People will post everything not what. Those are the benefits of AI. If I want to recount what AI can do, we will stay here till tomorrow. And as I said, whatever field you find yourself in life, whether you are a farmer, whether you are a president, whether you are a priest, whether you are a student, AI can help you do that better. In our age, it is about natural intelligence, human intelligence, plus artificial intelligence, leading us to enhance intelligence. That is man moving towards his perfection. Catechism of the Catholic Church, paragraph 302. The universe was created in the state of becoming. And as Brother Bernard earlier mentioned, to be human is a gift. It is not only a gift. To be human is a gift and a task. You have the duty to fashion, to cultivate your humanity, to bring out its best. Grow. Thank you.
Thank you, Jude Aka, who was giving the final arguments and arguing that artificial intelligence is not a threat to humanity, thus standing against the motion for tonight's debate. And the motion goes thus: artificial intelligence is a threat to humanity. And he noted that when some people refuse to take the doorstep to accepting a change, it becomes a disaster, and that even the Bible becomes a weapon of mass destruction when found in wrong hands. Thus, AI is one of the greatest good that has ever happened to humanity. Summary of his arguments, and these culminating arguments are bringing us to the end of the series of arguments we had from our debaters on site here. Let us equally get to those online after listening to those on site. We shall take at least a series of 4 of their contributions. I begin with the first. That is Mr. Innocent Definia from Yaoundé, who says, "Good evening, father and debaters. I stand seriously for the fact that AI, artificial intelligence, is a threat to humanity. With all videos circulating in the days ahead, scammers will deal with using artificial intelligence. With artificial intelligence in the days ahead, families will even suffer and suffer more. So I am watching this and warning that artificial intelligence, as he said, is a threat to humanity." That is Mr. Innocent Finia from Yaoundé, who equally gave us a video here to actually pass across his points, but because of time constraints, subsequently we have taken the main points through your writing, so we'll leave it there. So he says, accepting artificial intelligence is like accepting abortion to me. That is Mr. Innocent. He gives an analogy that accepting artificial intelligence is like accepting abortion according to him. Thus, it is a threat to humanity. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for the keen attention and your wonderful contribution. We remain very, very grateful and indebted to you. We take another, that is Kizito, Mr. Kizito, who says artificial intelligence is a threat to humanity. Firstly, it makes us learn that there is no truth. At times, it gives us false information based on the research we do at times, because not all information is programmed in it. So according to him, artificial intelligence remains a threat to humanity. That is Kizito writing us. Thank you so much, Kizito, for the input. We remain very, very grateful. And somebody is equally writing us who says, "I am called Jude from Malingo in Moliko, and this is his contribution. Good evening to all. I'm called Jude from Malingo in Moliko. My contribution is against artificial intelligence because it's really causing some of the workers to lose their jobs. Okay. Let me just name, for example, the camera in company ships. Those who are in charge of those cameras no longer possess their jobs, but artificial intelligence has come to replace them. So artificial intelligence is causing many people to lose their jobs, and so I think it's a threat to humanity." Thank you very much, Jude from Malingo. And he equally went ahead to say, on the other hand, it also helps, for example, the phone we use. It's one of the artificial intelligence that we can easily use to get to our relatives far from us. But I support the point of artificial intelligence equally being important. But I still stand for the fact that artificial intelligence is a threat to humanity. that is Jude from Malingo. Jude, you know, Jude is playing the two-sided, wise person of the Trojan horse. Yes, he bites and blows. He hits and runs and actually calms the atmosphere. Thank you so much, Jude from Malingo. That notwithstanding, we appreciate your input. Thank you so much. And somebody is writing us from Chang. Yes, somebody by Fongum Godwill writing us from Chang. Good evening, everyone on board. Here is my contribution. Artificial intelligence has the potential to revolutionize various industries and improve on our lives. With artificial intelligence, we can automate repetitive tasks, enhance decision making, and drive medical advancements. Artificial intelligence powered tools can also improve accessibility for people with disabilities. The benefits of artificial intelligence are numerous and well documented. By harnessing its potential, we can create a better future for humanity. Artificial intelligence can help us solve complex problems, improve productivity, and enhance our quality of life. This was by Fongum Godwill. Moving on, he forwarded some information to us. The advantages of artificial intelligence include improved efficiency. AI can automate repetitive tasks, enhance decision making, medical advancements, and increase accessibility. This is by Fongum Godwill from Chang. Thank you so much, Fongum Godwill. We appreciate so much for the input, and we are delighted to take you to the last input for tonight's debate. He sent his contribution and deleted. Maybe he's not yet convinced. And then another one just coming in. Greetings to you and thanks for the topic. I want to ask Jude Zong a question. Should we replace artificial intelligence in the offices where his parents work? And what will his parents work in order to feed him? Very soon, many people will become jobless. Remember, most of the wars we have in the world today is because of the industrial revolution that replaced work that was done with hand for machines. And the manufacturing of war equipment. Artificial intelligence is a threat to humanity. This is Desmond Fine Gia. Desmond Fine Gia from Bamenda, precisely in Bengui. Okay, Jude says you are a seminary on pastoral here, which means he knows you very well, and he has equally heard your interrogations and your questions posed to him. Thank you so much, the seminarian on pastoral here, Desmond Fine Njia from Bengui, the Archdiocese of Bamenda, for the input. We appreciate so much. So far, so good. TV friend, you bear with me that the atmosphere is becoming more and more tense, and people are tied in a very, very fixed corner where they are to be found with regard to the very clear arguments given on both hands. But that notwithstanding, we've got to draw the curtains for tonight's debate. Thank you so much. I want to use this singular opportunity to congratulate the debaters for the very, very wonderful debate, the very, very clear and succinct arguments, well postulated with great and fine assertions, with clarity and simplicity of language. Thank you so much, our debaters. Thank you so much for the deep research from all indications proving beyond reasonable doubt. The research was very, very deep and profound, and it was equally accompanied with concrete life experiences and examples, and equally the ability to make use of contradictory propositions from opponents is what applaud, is commendable. Thank you so much for mastering that art in a debate like this. Dear TV friend, this exercise is meant to educate, to enlighten, to whet our appetite, to instinct in us that sense of reason, to reflect, and equally to give contributions to our contemporary society about happenings that can better human living. On this count, I want to congratulate Bernard Asongne and Napoleon Kenfo, as well as Jude Aka and Becklin Sangnoy. Just briefly, with regard to the church's stance concerning this, very briefly in 2 sentences, what you have noticed is the fact that, yes, the Catholic Church acknowledges that artificial intelligence, which is AI, generally poses both opportunities and challenges, is proven beyond doubt. And even in the days of the Holy Father, Pope Francis of blessed memory now, he equally made mention of that it poses both opportunities and many challenges to humanity. So according to Francis, for instance, with regard to various Vatican documents that he actually promulgated prior to his demise, artificial intelligence can be a very powerful tool for good, but it also raises significant ethical concerns as to whether there is a categorical statement whether artificial intelligence is a threat to humanity. There is no profound to that, but it's proven beyond reasonable doubt that it's whetting the appetite of many with eyebrows raised concerning happenings and the misuse, and happenings in our contemporary society. Now, since this is a learning and of course an encouraging intellectual exercise, we have to give those who are the victors and of course the victims kind of for tonight's debate, those who have emerged victorious according to our human reckoning. Thank you so much. Now, with all considerations put in place, I want to congratulate those for and against the motion. But with all calculations put in place, if our mathematics is not failing us now, with the debate topic artificial intelligence is a threat to humanity, those who stood against the motion actually came up with a percentage score of 91.5% on 100. And those against, or those for the motion that artificial intelligence is a threat to humanity, actually had a percentage score of 90.5%. Therefore, with regard to tonight's debate, according to all logistic and criteria put in place, those against the motion had the night that artificial intelligence is not a threat to humanity. Thus, they stood against the motion. That is Jude Aka and Becklin Sangnoy. Thank you very much, Jude Aka and Becklin Sangnoy. Thank you very much. The wonderful argument, Bernard Asomne and Napoleon Kenford. Thank you for answering present. Thank you for your deep intellectual and rational know-how. Dear friend, at this point in time, we call it a day. I hope you enjoyed the debate, and it can only come to you over the Divine Mercy Radio Television, the one and only television sharing the light of hope. We want to thank General Supervision, which came in from the station manager, Joyce Bong, and the broadcasting team, the team of broadcasters, Bethuel Kinge, and a host of many, Wabga and the rest. Thank you so much for pressing the 1001 buttons under the strict supervision of Jesse Agum and Kindness and Jokum, our great broadcasters. And I want to thank equally the debaters for tonight, Jude Aka, Becklin Sangnoy, Bernard Asomne, and Napoleon Kenford. Very, very close and similar faces over the Divine Mercy Radio Television. For your host, I've been the moderator as well, Father Martin J. Moka, urging you to stay tuned to more interesting programs over the Divine Mercy Radio Television. Take another rendezvous for next week Saturday. Do not afford to miss. Hopefully next week, same time, same TV station, same program, same audience. Those of you listening to us and who gave in your contributions, thank you. Divine Mercy Radio Television, sharing the light of hope. Good night and happy weekend.